What's up, my family? Listen, first-time listener, or you've been here the whole damn time. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, giddy up, let's go, no notes.
That's my baby. That's my baby.
We're going at it at 110%.
I just want 5 minutes of happiness, please. Just give me 5 minutes.
And they scored! They did it!
Slap.
What the hell was that?
Oh, yeah!
What the f*** are you talking about?
All right, everybody, welcome in Monday night. We are the Sports Hounds. Doug Mankiewicz. I'm Rob Brinkman. Brad Ryer along for the ride as well. Game 6, NLCS, not going as planned for the Philadelphia Phillies. This is their chance right here. Schwarber, top of the lineup. You got Marsh on first with a single. This is it. They just made a pitching change. I would assume that they're bringing in a lefty here. They're bringing in the lefty here. Hopefully he can get Schwarber for him, get through Turner. Then you got the other lefty, Bryce. But, I mean, Arizona, they're pains in the asses. They're pains in the asses, man. They've earned my respect. They got much more heart in them than the Atlanta Braves did in the last series. Because Arizona, being young and inexperienced like this, they could have easily rolled over after those first two games, and they have not. So, it brings us to our poll question. Obviously, we're streaming live here on A2D Radio, live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram. Get us wherever you get your podcast, Spreaker, Spotify, Google Play, iHeartRadio, and iTunes. Each and every Monday, we're sponsored by Baguio Breads, Mount Laurel, New Jersey. Use promo code A2D Radio for 10% off your in-store purchase. Best cutlets, sandwiches, everything. Open 9 to 3 on Sundays to better service your football watching needs. But, Nola, not a shutdown performance. I wouldn't say he pitched bad, but he didn't pitch great. And it's all going to come down to this. We have Craig Kimbrell warming up in the bullpen. To me, this game this happens sometimes. Sometimes you go out there and you fight and you lose. I really had a problem with Topper on Friday night with the way he managed the bullpen. It was not the way that I wanted to see the bullpen managed. I don't understand why you bring in Hoffman on Friday night in the fourth inning. Like, you traded for a guy, Michael Lorenzen, for that situation. You have Taijuan Walker, who's a starter. You get 2 or 3 innings, then you can get a little bit more of a normal setup for your bullpen. I thought every bullpen pitcher they brought in on Friday night in that game was just a fish out of water in situations that they weren't used to, and that's why they lost that game. So if the Phillies do not win this game, and God forbid,
what game was that?
That was game 4.
4.
That was game 4. So they had the bullpen game. They started Christopher Sanchez. Christopher Sanchez, kind of the ball got rolling in the wrong direction when Christopher Sanchez got that grounder back to him. He forgot how many outs there were. They didn't turn the double play, and that kind of set the tone for the whole game. Again, I don't understand why you bring Jeff Hoffman into the fourth inning when he's one of your best guys in the 8th inning. So it just spelled trouble. And then today, the bats aren't hitting. There you go, Marsh squeeze. Oh, they got him.
They're challenging. I thought he was out.
For all the reasons you just said, why bring in Lorenzen or Taijuan Walker if you want to put them in a spot where they're comfortable? Both of them are starters. I think
no one was going to be comfortable in that situation, Doug, on Friday, because you can't. This team is this. I trust this bullpen a lot when they have to get 9 or 10 outs. If they have to get 20 outs, I don't trust them at all.
In a bullpen day, you're trying to throw a bullpen. Like, you have to save one of your long guys in case it goes extra innings or you run out of arms, right? So you don't want to waste one. You don't want to waste one of them just to go 1 inning, right? The other guys are more apt to do it. You can get through it. Then you're banking on 2 guys that really haven't pitched in how God knows how long. I just feel like if it's a bullpen day, they did it the way it's supposed to be done. Just, and was that the game that Kimbrell got squeezed, or was that game 5? No, it was game 4. It was like, because that whole inning changes on pitch 1. We just got done talking about the Eagles-Dolphins game. I don't blame losses on injuries or officiating, but like that he gets strike one. He threw a borderline knee high. It was in the box, knee high strike to start that night. Whatever it was, the 8th, right? Or the 9th?
No, it was the 8th.
It was the 8th.
Yeah.
It was the 8th. They don't seem interested in using him as a closer anymore.
That whole
Can't
inning
blame him at
changes.
all.
A whole inning changes. I think he threw 2 strikes that were called balls that first at bat, and that changes everything. You get a power arm. Like the difference, everybody talks about the importance of strike one, but when you're facing a guy like Kimbrel, even when he was rolling, like it's night and day, because now you have a guy with nasty stuff who might paint or he might throw one behind you.
So, did you ever face him?
No, thank God. But like, he's the type of guy that throws – his stuff is so electric that strike one means everything, because now I bring both pitches back into play. Where if you fall behind, you kind of the more he falls behind or doesn't get the borderline strike, the more you box him in the corner to stay on just a fastball. And then you can go on the at-bat where I'm like, the law of averages says he can't throw 3 strikes out of the next 4 pitches, so I can just stand here and walk. And that's like, it's kind of a crazy way to think about it, but that's the way you have to attack guys that their command isn't their thing. But I felt like watching that game without having a real dog in the fight as far as fan base goes. I love the Phillies vibe. Don't get me wrong. But like neither one of them are like, let's say, my favorite teams. I just like watching good baseball. I thought that game was completely changed by the people behind the plate.
That brings us to our poll question. Obviously, Craig Kimbrel is not the biggest fan favorite here in Philadelphia right now. It's 2 games that he was on the hook for in this series. Craig Kimbrel should not pitch the remainder of the postseason. It's hard to bench him for the entire postseason, even though people don't like him, including myself. But like, somebody's got to pitch.
A game like today is perfect for him. It's perfect.
Why do you say that?
You're down 5-1.
Well, they just brought him in.
Right. So you get him like, hey, you're going to get 3 outs. He finds something. Let's be honest. He was yanking his fastball, right? When he yanks his fastball, he can't command his slider. He finds something right and can throw strike one. He's a completely different animal. And all it takes is one hitter, right? You bring him into a game like this where, you're losing, right? What's the difference between 5-1, 6-1 at this point? Really? Is it really that big of a deal? This is a confidence-boosting inning. Topper knowing that if he's going to finish this thing, and not just this series, the entire thing, he's going to need him to get important out. So you might go back on this if they go on to win Game 7 and go on and win a World Series. This inning might be the inning that makes or breaks the Philadelphia Phillies in their pen.
It seems like every time this guy is in save situations, this guy's pretty good. And we see a lot of closers like this. But when he comes in the 8th, when it's not a save situation, it doesn't go well. Papelbon was the same way. He was a great pitcher for the Red Sox and the Phillies. He's an all-time leading saves leader on both teams. Every time he came in a tie game or the 8th inning, it didn't go well. So, like,
it happened to Chapman all the time too.
So, is it really smart to give this guy an inning here when, like you said, what's the difference between 5-1 and 6-1? You don't think that's in his head?
Oh, what a catch!
You might have asked for this inning. You never know.
Wait till you see this catch. Wait till you see this catch.
I'll take the inning. I'll take it. And the one thing is, he's durable. He can go right back out there. When he's healthy, use him. Use him, because a lot of guys, like, they lose their feel. Adrenaline. He's never been a command guy. He's always been the edge of the seat closer who might throw 11 straight balls and then punch out the next 3. So, like I said, I can understand the feeling. You're like, oh, here we go. But that's how the importance of that. That's where it goes back to, and that's how quickly games, at-bats, series happens. One pitch, that changed. I was sitting there with my son going, that ball one just could change the entire outcome of this game, and it did.
Great diving catch there by Johan Rojas. Excellent defensive center fielder. You might as well send him up there with a tree branch to hit, but he's a really good defender.
Catch.
I mean, maybe this is something that can you spark the boys and get these vibes going. And you get 2 at-bats to get 4 runs. It's not out of the question here. Doug, Brad, I've had a problem with the lineup as well. Alec Boehm continues to be in the 4-hole. He's not hitting. He hasn't had good at-bats. I think he hasn't hit tonight. I think he hit a single tonight, which is his first sign of life. But you're hitting him behind Harper. So when you have a guy struggling behind your slugger, Bryce Harper, Doug, doesn't that almost ensure that Bryce Harper isn't going to get anything to hit?
Okay, but what did you use? Has Boehm hit 4th most of the year?
Not really.
In the playoffs?
Recently, yes.
Okay. Like again,
and you don't want to change anything.
No.
Even though JT's hitting 325.
The only change I would make is I'd put Marsh in between Castellanos and Realmuto.
Because he's a lefty.
That's a smart thing to do. I agree.
You want to go left, right. That way they can't dictate their bullpen, right? They got to pick their poison. You know for a fact they're going to throw a lefty at the top of the order, right? Because you have Schwarber and Bryce coming up, 2 of the 3 are lefties. You deal with Trey Turner, right? But then they take him out. Now, Marsh obviously is better against righties, and right now he's swinging the bat really well against everybody. So that to me, like I like the balance of the right left. I never really cared. There's two schools of thought. Like I can go ahead and stack my lefties. This was Tom Kelly's thing sometimes. When we face guys, he always tried to be balanced as best he could. But when, let's just say, like someone's sticking it up your butt, right? You have a guy that always has good numbers. He would throw 7 lefties in a row. Like something's gonna give. Like we're gonna get to you. We're gonna beat you in the first 5 innings, and I'll take care of the bullpen after that. Or you make it in today's game. You have to do it this way because you make it too easy to manage. You make it too easy if you stack lefties or stack a bunch of righties together, unless they're – that's a funny thing too because baseball is always like you always see stacked righties. You rarely see stacked lefties. Like I'll say so righties can hit righties, but lefties can't hit lefties. That's why it's crap. But like just what you said about you don't want it, like how Kimbrel doesn't throw well if it's not a safe situation. Yeah. You start jockeying with the lineup. You change – like you change the lineup when you're losing. Not when guys aren't swinging the bat well. It's more, it's about us, not me or I. So like they're scoring runs. They're scoring runs, albeit the homer, but they're scoring runs. So don't mess with it. Like this, I tinker with the bottom half of it, not the top.
Got it. I'll tell you what, Doug, there is something to that. Back when you were playing, the Yankees, I know against you guys and against everybody, actually, Joe Torre used to bat O'Neill, Bernie Williams, and then Tino Martinez.
Mm-hmm. Switch.
Because Bernie could bat right-handed. Mm-hmm. And Bernie was actually a better right-handed hitter than a left-handed hitter. And
that's how you put the manager in a bad spot.
Yeah, and so they couldn't just throw lefties out there all the time.
And then back then you'd burn through 3 guys to get through 1 inning, right? You'd have the right.
Pretty much, because nobody wanted to pitch to Bernie when he was batting right-handed.
Right. You make him make 3 moves in 1 inning. That's when, that's where this stuff. It's true. Like sometimes, like the longer the series, I'm looking for. I'm curious to see if Lovello brings in Seward or whatever his name is, a closer in this game.
Oh, he's going to definitely pitch him in this game.
Yeah,
you can't gamble in a game.
You're not gambling.
Facing elimination.
You're not gambling. You're lessening at bats against their closer.
Oh, I see what you're saying. You could always warm him up.
Whoever you bring in has to face 3 guys. It's not like when Bernie Williams was active.
Right, you have a 4-run lead.
It'd be interesting. I hope they don't bring in Sewald. I'd much rather face. I guess Nelson. It would be Nelson if it's not Sewald. I don't think.
If you start the inning, you have to face 3 guys still.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get 2, like if you finish the inning, then you can. Like if you only get I think if
Right.
you only get one
If
guy out,
if the guy goes back out there, that counts. Like, that's what I'm
the
getting.
end of the inning, the end of the inning. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure the end
I
of
know
the
if you
inning.
bring guy there with 2 outs, you bring
No,
him in.
the end of the inning, you can
change.
do whatever you
Right,
want.
do whatever you want. I just didn't know if that because I felt like I've been around so many rule changes, even in minor league ball, where I was like, "Look, man, just write it down." Like, and then you got some guys that were like, "We're going to try to we're going to experiment with this rule and this." I'm like, "Look, man, just write it down. Like, just tell me what." Because you start to go back and forth. And you're like, it's amazing how the rules change and how much you forget, and how much you're like, "Well, which one is it?"
Do you like that rule? Do you like?
I hate it.
Rule, though? You hate it.
I hate it. And we had it in AAA because we had to use the same rules as, and I just didn't know if they've made it back or changed some of it because they always tinker with them too. But we had that, and it definitely changes things because like that security blanket you have to bring in the lefty, right, to get the lefty out with 2 outs, and then like you said, Brad, like then you walk Paul O'Neill and you're staring at Bernie, right-handed. And you don't want it, and you gotta, you're like, oh man, I'm screwed now because I can't just think. My answer to like a media can't be, well, I only thought he would just face the lefty. Well, when he doesn't get the lefty, I'm stuck him facing, the arguably the best right-handed hitter. You have to play that into the account of which.
Yeah, and then after, I think after Tino, you had Posada, who was also a switch hitter.
So it's just a matter of like you have to find out your guys.
And Posada was better right-handed than he was left-handed as well.
No way.
Way better.
No way.
Oh, he
No
was.
way.
He had power both ways batting right-handed.
No way. He can hit left-handed.
Oh no, I didn't say he couldn't. I'm just saying he was a better hitter right-handed though.
I don't.
Because when he was right-handed, he had a lot of home runs to right field right-handed. When he was left-handed, he was a dead pull hitter.
Well, yeah, duh. Where'd you play?
Yeah, no, I know that. I know.
Like, why would you ever want to go to left center to Yankee Stadium? That's the stupidest. That's just dumb hitting.
No, it's ridiculously dumb.
It's dumb.
Yeah.
Joseph Duffy, can we please stop relying on rookies, Rojas and Kerkering, who are obviously not ready for playoff games? Also, Bohm is not a 4-hole hitter. I agree on the 4-hole hitter, and I agree on Kerkering, but Rojas has really solidified this outfield from a defensive standpoint.
Okay.
I mean, I know he can't hit, and he's in the 9-hole, and you're just going to have to hope he does something.
Okay, here's something. Something else to think about with Bohm in the 4-hole. Okay, they're obviously pitching around Bryson. I think he's a little off the last couple of days, even with the games he had the other day. I still don't think he's where he was before the last couple of days.
You mean Bryce?
Yes, Bryce. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
I'm going back to Bohm though. So
Right.
if they're going to pitch around Bohm, okay, if they're going to pitch around Bryce, it depends. Like Bohm to me swings a lot, but at the same token, he's more of a contact type of guy that you can like take some pitches and like with Bryce being on first and the threat to steal, you can kind of dictate the pitches that Bohm gets, if that makes sense. You can make it simpler for him in the 4-hole. He's not in the 4-hole because of his numbers. He's in the 4-hole because that's where it fits for now and the way the lineup kind of breaks down. And you can still do some things.
He had well over 100 RBIs, so he's used to
he can drive
delivering in. He can drive in run. I mean, not necessarily
100%.
the 40 home run guy, but he drove in runs.
Correct, and that's what I'm saying. And like, there's nothing screams more panic to a team than when you start changing the lineup every night in the postseason. Or it just doesn't make sense. Like you take away a freaky blown save. Like you can't. I'm sorry, a pinch hit homer. I know they happen, but it's like lightning in a bottle, right? Like this series should be over. Kudos to the Diamondbacks for making this series and about pushing it to 7. But like this series is over minus something that rarely ever happens: a pinch hit homer, right? That just never happens. So
that's a fluke. That's a fluke.
I mean, it's not a fluke. It's memorable, and trust me, It's the hardest thing to do in sports, and some guys were phenomenal at it. But it's just like you can't. If you're going into a series going, well, we're going to have to hit a pinch hit. We're going to have to get a pinch hit homer to win it. It just doesn't. It's just like I wouldn't say it's not lucky. It's not cheap. They earned it, but it's like it took that for this to be otherwise this series is over. So I still feel good where you guys are at, regardless of what happens tonight. It's just it didn't happen tonight. So I think
the game's still not over yet.
It's not over yet. I'm telling you, like if these next 6 outs, if they can put pressure on them and let them feel them, and the whole idea of this, and this is what I'd be thinking as a manager, outside of obviously trying to win it, man,
make them pitch.
Just grind them out right here. Give me 6 of the best at bats you guys have ever had, and I want to look up and see 31 pitches. I don't care if we even don't score. 31 pitches.
Yeah, and then they're not effective.
Now they're gassed.
Kevin Ginkel comes into the game for the Arizona Diamondbacks. Pretty good right-hander for the Diamondbacks at the back end there. So they don't go Seawald. They're up 4. They go with Ginkel, one of their better.
This is the 8th inning, though.
True. Yeah, you're right. I'm sorry.
It's the 8th inning.
I'm ahead of myself a little bit.
And they're not going to pitch Ginkel 2 innings.
Now, if you want to go one better, I will give you the whole I don't just the way it works out, but Bohm Stott, it's kind of a funky little back to back when you have JT swinging it well, Nick's kind of coming down to earth a little bit, but he's still giving you good at bats.
Well, yeah, because you split up the righties with Stott, who's been good,
right? But then if you're going to do that with Stott, you should do it with Marsh too. But then you go into, then it goes back to the other way too. This is why I like the lineup kind of the way it is, because if you flip flop, even going back on what I said, this is what managers do before the analytic department took it over, right? This is what, if I'm grinding this out as a manager, and trust me, every sheet of paper in my office had 3,000 lineups on it. Same guys switching stuff around. You move Marsh up. Now you're going to have to take Castellanos or JT down. Now you have JT or Nick hitting in front of Rojas. He's never going to get a pitch to hit.
That's
right.
True. That's a problem.
So like free swingers, whatever. And Nick's not exactly Nick can hurt you, but you kind of want to be predictable. It was like hitting 8th spot in the National League back in the day when the pitchers hit. It was the most confusing spot in the history of the game to actually try to hit. Because as soon as you thought they were coming after you, they'd walk you. When you thought they were walking you, they'd come after you. You never really knew what was going on and how they were thinking. I was young when I did it, and I couldn't stand it. But that's kind of where that's where the lineup kind of fills. So now you got Nick protecting JT. And Nick really doesn't need any protecting because it doesn't matter what he's doing offensively. You're still going to go after him because you feel like you can. If you make pitches, if he makes a mistake, he's going to kill you. But if you make pitches, and that's the kind of the nutshell to all of this. If you make pitches, it doesn't matter where your lineup is and how it's configured. You make pitches, and you miss mistakes as an offense. You're not going to. It's going to be tough. It's going to be tough to win a game.
Rob Polvey disagrees with the poll. Kimball should
Ginkel
still be in the closer. Bad numbers in Chase Field all time. He's the coolest customer and allows you to use Alvarado, Hoffman, Soto in the earlier innings versus heart of the order.
That's what I think. Trust me, I had Soto. I still have anxiety when he comes in the game, and I'm not even the manager anymore. I literally I have heart palpitations. I'm just like,
I think you emailed me the one night when he came
right. I wouldn't have him close a slow pitch softball game for me if the game that mattered. And this guy was an all-star, but I would wake up in cold sweats going, I'm fearful for my catcher. I was fearful for the 3 hitters he had to face. I was fearful for the umpire. I was fearful for the guy on deck. I was scared to death. I was like, this guy's arm is immaculate, but he might hit me and I'm on the top step. I guess I don't. That's one guy until I mean, I bless your heart. Like, you guys trust him. I'm like, man, y'all got some faith.
Phillies down in the 8th, 5-1. They got to hold them here. They got 3 outs, get 4 runs. Bryson Stott flies out to right field. Bohm did hit a single, albeit not
Yes, it was an 88
squarely
hopper, but
hit
it got
baseball, but it got through, and it's a single. Maybe that can get him going.
And he hit a single early in the game off a sinker, off that.
Yeah, he's got 2 hits this game.
Yeah.
Pete Evans, how big of a letdown is tonight? What are your feelings heading towards tomorrow's game?
I wouldn't say let down. I would just say, you know what, this didn't work out. I mean, tip your cap. Guy 3 hits through 5 innings, had 8 Ks. He had it working. He had his sinker working. He had his changeup working.
What about manager Doug?
I think he'll be a little calmer now that the Arizona bullpen did a great job in innings 6, 7, and 8. Or you think he's still going to be pissed?
It's a game. He's still going to be pissed. He's still, because I mean, like, but that's always is. They always, like, your pitchers are always like the fake tough guy, right? Like, they're like the guys that like they want to like bow up to you because, oh, I'm John Wayne and I want the ball. And then when you give them the ball, they crap down their leg and they're like, where are you? So I mean, in that regard, like, okay, like, that's why I never really took it personal. It was always like, okay, I want my guys to want the ball. I want my guys not to come out of the game. I want them to want to finish. I used to tell them every night, just finish what you start one time. Just finish what you start. You got 100 pitches figured out. Like, stop. I don't want to have to move. Like, I want my coffee to be either empty or still warm before I have to come get you. Is that just to kind of play with their brain a little bit? Like, can I enjoy my coffee for 5.5 innings so I don't have to worry about getting somebody up, please? And like, it's just, so I understand hey, I want my guys to want the ball, but we'll see. That's the kind of game, if you win, they're like, oh, but I understand. I'm sorry, Skip. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to show you up, blah, blah, blah. Who knows? I haven't followed the Diamondbacks too much, but if he got left in one time and got belted, you don't see the manager throw him under the bus to the media.
No, that would be not good.
No, they don't do that.
Say the Phillies lose this game, they don't get the 4 runs they need in the bottom. Are you talking to the team as the manager, Doug? Are you leaving it alone? What are you saying before tomorrow's game?
Turn the radio on. I want to crank the radio after the game and just relax, and you know what, stuff happens. Shit happens. All right, hey, if I need one game won out of anybody in the league, it's you guys. They know what they're doing. They know what they want.
Your boy Soto is in the game, Doug.
I know. I saw that.
Yeah, he's in the game.
You didn't see my neck. You didn't see all of a sudden my neck started twitching. No, I there's really don't have to say anything. They're the type of team you don't have to say anything to. Like, what are you going to say that's not said by Bryce Harper's eyes to his teammates? Those guys they know what's at stake. Arizona, I'd probably say something.
What would you say to them?
Hey, one more game. Play your balls out. You came in tonight without backs against the wall. Don't even think about finish. Don't even think about what's at stake. Just go play a baseball game.
Doug, if the Diamondbacks score here in the 9th inning, okay, and it ends up being 6-1, is Soto just airmailed the throw into right field?
He's a PFP nightmare.
Yeah, he's not a good fielder, I guess. But in any event, if the Diamondbacks have a 5-run lead, are you not going to pitch your closer?
No.
Or are you going to pitch him?
Nope. Not pitching him.
So you think Sewell could sit down now?
I'm not pitching.
Well, they didn't score. They didn't get 6 yet.
Well, they just sacrificed Perdomo to third, so
Let's put it this
one
way.
out.
Over the course of time, if you want to play the analytic department, go back and look at closers' ERA with a 3-run lead or less and an ERA with 3 runs or more. When it's not a safe situation, how's it end up?
They're not good. A lot of the greats weren't good. Yeah, Kimbrel's one of them. Applebaum was one of them.
Needs an inning. They end up throwing 38 pitches, and now you went from just getting them some work to now I have to sit him for another day because he threw too many pitches last night. I know October's different, but again, when you start doing things, out of character, it's a bad feeling. You're just like, no, like, okay, like, hey, 8th inning, 2 outs. Yeah. I'd bring my closer in October. I don't think I'd do it during the regular season. But hell, like tomorrow night, 8th inning, 1 out. Hey, you'll throw
I'll
me.
bring in Alvarado if I'm the Phillies.
But I'm just saying, if you're the Diamondbacks, that's when the stuff goes out the window. But like to do it beforehand, you're telling everybody else in that pen, I don't trust you with a 4-run lead. It's got to be this guy. No.
Well, Soto just got a huge strikeout
He
from
can do that.
Marte, so now there's 2
There's
outs
Greg
and a runner on
Milojevic.
third.
He disagrees with the poll even before joining late. He's obviously in the game now. I would have said the same thing. So he disagrees. I mean, everyone's mad at him and everyone hates that. Was kind of the hot take among Philly fans in the radio. Like, I don't know, just send him home.
Well,
you can't really do that. I mean,
Well, he pitched a scoreless inning.
It wasn't like he went in there and just gave up 9. Like he gave up, like, again, like he always pitches like this at Chase Field. You can look at his numbers in Arizona; they're terrible. Like, so it's not like he's any different than what he normally is.
what is with that ballpark out there?
It's
weird.
It's a hitter's dream.
Is it? Because
Oh
it's
my gosh.
big and some of
Matter
those
of space, like a ball is like a beach ball. Like it's a great place to hit.
and then they
my
mess with one of your favorites.
Oh, by far.
Because now that they put the ball in the humidor and it's supposed to.
I don't want to hear about that crap. Like,
No?
they're different. Like the balls are different. I don't care
Is
what.
is it really that different? And there's the third out.
Yeah.
So they got 3 outs to go to the World Series here. Obviously, you got some wiggle room here because you do have a game tomorrow. But you got JT, Nick, Marsh. I would assume they would pinch hit for Rojas, and then you got the top of the order.
They're bringing him in, right?
Seawald. He was the only. I only saw Seawald warming up. So
I saw
unless
his
they're
name
bringing,
on the pitching thing. I'm watching on my iPad. Like,
Well, if it's a 4-run lead, I think that you probably bring in Seawolf. I guess. I mean, I don't know who else they have. I don't know Arizona that well to be able to say, well, somebody else.
there's 4-run lead. I probably would do the same thing. At the end of the day,
5-1. So basically, they're saving Brian Nelson in case Fat, however you say his name, the rookie who dazzled in his first start, gets in trouble. Because we didn't see Nelson tonight, unless I'm mistaken. But I don't think I am.
No,
They
he
went
didn't.
Thompson. They went Thompson to Ginkle, and now they're going to pitch their closer. Doug doesn't sound like so. If they can get,
I guess a 4-run lead. There's 2 ways to think about it. I don't know Arizona very well at all. I mean, Seawald doesn't. He's not.
you do know Terry Novello, though, correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't say like Seawald is a. He's not Kimbrel with the Braves, right? With the power arm. He's 93. It's a funky kind of different. He's not. Let's put it this way. He's not your prototypical closer. So maybe
The more you see him, the easier he is to hit, right?
Yeah, that's kind of what. But then again, I see the other side of it. I've been burned both ways. How about that? Where you bring a guy in and he gets himself into a mess and then gets himself out of it, or you play it not so much cute, but you say, okay, here, and then you end up bringing in your closer first and second, and nobody out. Going, he's got no wiggle room, right? So.
I mean, I totally agree. He's not invincible. I mean, he was really good last year for Seattle, and then Seattle kind of was scuffling. They made a run and just missed the playoffs, but while they were scuffling, is he wasn't locking down the back end of that bullpen for Seattle, so they traded him to the Arizona Diamondbacks, and he found it again. So it's going to be Seawald.
He's 34 for 39 this year.
Put it this way, I always felt like every at bat I got against a closer or a late inning reliever in games that didn't necessarily, if my bat didn't really change the outcome of a game. And I know that's hard to say in October, but I'm still trying to be successful, but you have a freedom to kind of let's just say you get this at bat with 2 outs, nobody on, right? You're still fighting like hell to get on base because you don't know what happens, but you're taking inventory. You're trying to pick up something. Hey, I saw this. Go back and look. Like, look at his finger. I found, just something different that you can pick up, or a different thought or approach to him the more you see him. And so that's kind of where, like.
So you're basically looking at this as a free look at Seawald.
Yeah. I mean, it's like.
In preparation for tomorrow.
Yeah. Like, try to pick something up, or like, I'm not saying those guys are struggling against him, because I thought he got, for every pitch that he got going back to that Kimbrel game, I thought this guy got, like, they gave him 3 pitches. And only getting 3 outs, 3 pitches is a lot. I think it was probably that same game, but there were some pitches that were like, I was like, there's no way. And then whop, hop. I don't blame umpires. I hate the box on TV. But if Kimbrel gets strike 1, like they gave it to this guy in Arizona, this series is already over with.
Well, I'll tell you what, he's mowed down the first 2 guys. So now it's Marsh with 2 outs.
Let's put it this way. If you could have a Game 7 at home with any team that's still left, which one are you taking?
That's interesting. The 2 teams that are –
I'm taking this one.
Yeah, the Phillies and the Astros, actually.
I wouldn't – but the Astros stink at home.
I mean, I was really surprised.
Yeah, but are they going to lose 4 in a row, though?
Oh, it's Javier. They're not. How do they lose 4 in a row?
Yeah, I can't.
I was surprised they got smacked last night.
Don't get me started on MLB pulling back on Abreu getting non-suspended. Don't even get me started.
Well, he's suspended. Now he's not suspended. He's suspended, but he can pitch.
For next year.
What's the point of that?
What is the point of that?
They're making him serve his suspension next year. So he's pitching tonight.
I thought that would have been a
huge
edge factor in that game.
The only part that I have a problem with, all 6 umpires agreed that he threw at him intentionally.
I thought it was.
It was 100% intentional. I don't care what anybody says. It's 100% intentional. No one's going to admit it. No one's going to say it. It was 100% intentional. But my point is, if you're going to have all 6 umpires who, let's be honest, sometimes don't know their ass from their elbow when it comes to what's going on in the actual game, when all 6 agree that he did it on purpose, how do you not penalize him? It's like MLB just lets Houston get away with whatever the hell they want to.
That was insane.
And I would have been
Garcia.
totally fine with just one game.
I don't blame.
Like sit
Garcia
out last night, and then you can go for Game 7 if you need it, or you got to sit out. Because if you sit out Game 6,
he did
right there. He did.
He didn't pitch.
Well, he didn't pitch, but he wasn't suspended.
I don't know. I could have swore that
they got smacked. They got smacked up. They didn't.
But still, it doesn't matter. It's a distraction.
And the Phillies have officially lost to the Arizona Diamondbacks 5-1, setting up a Game 7 tomorrow. Brandon Marsh strikes out looking. Seawald, not a save, but does close it out. Let's get a word from our sponsors at Royal Billiards, and then we will get into the post-game show, set you up for Game 7 tomorrow. Maybe take a peek at the American League Game 7, which should be starting in just a few minutes here, but here they are, our newest sponsor, Royal Billiard.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, proudly celebrating 40 years, and our new, bigger showroom.
Twice the size and twice the fun.
More pool tables by Olhausen, more dartboard sets, including custom reclaimed backboards, more bar and kitchen stools that can change a room,
and more bars, including pre-built and custom.
Hot tubs, skee ball, shuffleboard, outdoor,
and fun.
Royal Billiard and Recreation, your ultimate game room store. Now located on Bethlehem Pike in Colmar.
There they are. Find all your game room and man cave needs at royalbilliards.com. The premier game room store of the Delaware Valley, stocked with the very best in pool tables, accessories, shuffleboards, card tables, dart supplies, bars, and bar stools. Turn any ordinary room into an extraordinary gaming experience. Royal Billiards, located at 515 Bethlehem Pike in Colmar, Pennsylvania. Visit them on the web at royalbilliard.com. Diamondbacks celebrating, obviously not the ending that myself and other Phillies fans were. Look, they found the one Diamondbacks fan in Philadelphia for the camera shot heading into Game 7. They've been 90. There's another one. So now I guess they're crawling out. Game 7 tomorrow night. Brad, what are your thoughts? What are your initial thoughts to this series going to Game 7?
Well, Ranger Suarez has pitched very, very well in postseason. So I kind of trust him to at least give you 4 innings. Okay? Fott was great at home as a rookie, pitching, with nothing to lose because it was, 2-0 Phillies? And nobody gave Arizona a fighting chance to win this series. So he goes out there with really nothing to lose and pitches a great game. Now everything is on the table. There's a lot of pressure on both teams now. And if you think Arizona's going out there like they've got nothing to lose, I say bullshit, because not in Game 7. Not when you get this far, because you know what? It's hard to get this far. And I don't know about Brandon Pfaadt. I know that that your guy, Ranger Suarez, has pitched pretty well in postseason and has done it before.
He's in his veins. He's done it in bullpen. He's done it in starting.
Exactly.
This is a $200 million everyday lineup. You have a rookie out there. You have a book on him now. I can excuse the first game because you don't have a book on Pfaadt, however the heck you say his name. Tomorrow, there's no excuse. You got to score runs tomorrow. You're at home. You're favored. Phillies haven't been underdogs at all in this series, and they're not going to be underdogs tomorrow. So, Schwarber, Turner, Harper, Nicky Dingers, JT, this is why these guys were assembled this way.
Survive
the baseball.
Survive the first inning. What I always but tell our guys, survive the first inning in big games. Survive the first.
So, Doug, do you think it's an advantage for the Phillies to be home?
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Okay, well, let me ask you this. If they fall behind, is it an advantage for them to be at home?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
It's not going to take much.
It's not the regular season, right? They're not Philly isn't coming off of a 6-game losing streak where they got swept by the A's and the Boo Birds. You don't boo in October. That's just they're not. They know this team's too likable. There's too many character guys on this team to even sweat what just happened tonight. Trust me. They know what they're up against. They know what's going to happen. Schwarber clicks on one in the first inning. That place is going to start jumping, and it's not going to stop.
It's not going to take much for the bank to get rocking tomorrow. It's going to start. They're going to start hot. The crowd.
It's a night game. It's going to be a night game. There's no one else on. It's prime time. No football. Trust me. This is. But then again, if you're a Diamondback, you're like, why wouldn't want any other way? 04 in Boston was if there's not a better place to have a Game 7 after they just choked 3 games in a row to be in Yankee Stadium, it's the best. If you're gonna clear demons, I want it in the Devil's backyard. And that's
now, could you feel the Yankees choking?
I could feel them before. You could feel it. You could feel it in the clubhouse, and the game hadn't even started yet. I promise you could have heard a pin drop in theirs, and we were playing naked air guitar on tables, playing Aerosmith, Dream On, Pedro's up there. Granted, we were a different squad, but we're on the house's money at that point. To get back to if I got back to Game 7, I was there was absolutely no way we were losing that game. No way. And then we
not with Kevin Brown pitching that game. That's for sure.
It didn't matter who was pitching. They could have brought Whitey Ford up, bless his heart, rest in peace. We were going to beat Whitey Ford. That's just the reality.
I was kind of hoping they pitch El Duque, but that's just
El Duque would have. It didn't matter. It just didn't matter. It didn't matter who pitched.
They were on an unconscious roll at that point.
It was.
For sure.
It's just. They started figuring. They started once you flip the script on somebody, it's over. We felt like Game 6 was your shot to get us, and you didn't. And now it's forget it. And this is a different story, though. To me, this is different. You have a young group. You have a team that's been there before. You have an offense that they got shut down tonight. When's the last time your offense got shut down 2 times in a row in October?
I can't ever.
It hasn't
remember
happened. It
that.
hasn't happened this postseason.
So there you go. Like
No, last year, I guess game 5 and game 6 they got shut down.
They shut down. They got Houston just shoved it in on 3 games in a row in the World Series last year. One of them
but
was
Houston
no-hitter.
Houston has substantially better pitching than.
If you contain Marte, who else scares you? Fam,
No
he got his 1 hit for the series. Okay, great.
Walker is pretty good, and
but Walker hasn't done anything. He swung at a pitch and almost hit him in the ear flap.
I get that, but he can run in, still can run into one.
Can he run into one? Yes, but is he like what guy on the other team besides Marte do you fear? Suarez is pitching. That means you're going to put the kid to hit the pinch hit home run. That's the one thing I'll say about Tony Lavello. Like the guy hit a pinch hit homer, started the next day, and he did. And he's been hot. He's been giving them good at bats ever since. But
what about Carroll?
I mean, he got a single tonight, but like you make pitches on him, he's an out. It is. That's like I just feel like the lineups, the back of your the name on the back of your jersey, that matters in October. Like that grinds on people. Like
of course it does.
Presence. I mean, you're gonna have to bite. Like, let's put it this way. They lost 5-1, right? The guy who pitched for Arizona tonight, 35 years old, whatever he was, from Korea, all that stuff. Go back. I'll go back to it because I'm watching the Ranger game now. This guy pitched so great. He threw 5 innings. It took him 90 pitches. Think about that for a second. We're glorifying a 5-inning start for 90 pitches. So yes, they only scored 1 run.
So that's why he didn't pitch the 6th inning.
But it's 5 innings, which is, I get it. Today's game, it's like you make $22 million a year if you do that, right? But it's just, to me, my point is he struck out 8 in 5 innings, 3 hits, 3 walks. You had chances. You just didn't get the big hit tonight. And that sometimes it happens. But like, don't make it sound like you just ran into Randy Johnson. You didn't. They don't have Kurt Schilling waiting in the wings tomorrow. Can the kid pitch well? Of course. But I'll take my chances with the deep lineup. Who knows how to win games?
What's that? Manstar 1. Are you guys pissed? I'm not happy. No, I haven't been happy since Friday night, really. But I mean, I think Doug hit the nail on the head. Like I wouldn't I have the better team. I have the better starting pitcher. I have the better I still think the Phillies had the better bullpen, even though they've had problems.
You didn't have to use your horse tonight.
Alvarado's the Phillies' best pitcher. He's going in ready. And I would assume it's all hands on deck tomorrow. Like, if you need
Johnny Holstaff against
But
Johnny
also
Holstaff.
think about it this way. Like, I know I've made a big stink about this since the playoffs started. And it yes and no. Coming off an off day, I promise you, if you look at the main cogs of that Philly lineup and you do go back and do homework and look at what the experienced guys in that lineup the day after the day off, and then look at their numbers the second day, meaning after they play one game, I guarantee you they're significantly different. I'm telling you, like it's like you have the better pitcher, you have the better offense, you have the only home park that matters in baseball. To me, as much as I loved Yankee Stadium, as much as I loved Fenway, it's different in Philly. They're right on top of you. Like, you can smell the popcorn playing first base there. You can smell it. You can feel it. You can hear it. That place gets rocking. It's not I've been there in the NLCS. It's different. It's significantly different.
That was when you were on the Dodgers, correct?
Correct.
09, yeah.
Just it's just, and I think they've been fantastic. They haven't gotten negative. Don't get negative now. You have the better team. Tip your cap. You didn't lose this game, right? You didn't give this game away. They earned it. Okay. You didn't make a bunch of errors. You didn't have a bunch of walks. Nola didn't pitch as well as he has, but heck, that happens in a postseason.
Is Zach Wheeler available tomorrow?
I would say so.
Everybody's available tomorrow.
Right? Everybody's available in Game 7.
Yeah,
Right,
except
'cause he
Kelly
threw
and
what?
Nola. Other than Kelly and Nola, everybody's available.
He threw. When did he throw? When did
He's
he
been
throw?
manageable.
Sunday?
I don't think he's broken
Saturday?
the pitch counter.
He threw Saturday?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Saturday,
tomorrow would be his throw
Sunday
day.
off. Today's Monday. Yeah, this would be a side day probably tomorrow.
Yeah, tomorrow will be his throw day, so he could probably give you an inning. He could end up closing the game
He
tomorrow.
could end up going 3.
I
Remember,
mean,
do you remember when the
you're not going
Yankees?
to need it. Stop. You're not
So
going to
when
need
the
it.
Yankees played Arizona,
well, I mean, we just talked
They-
because we just talked about
Randy
Christian
pitched
Javier.
Game
and what he's
7.
been. Christian Javier did not get out of the first inning for the Houston Astros tonight.
I know. My boy Corey Seager took him deep in the first.
So it's 3-0 Rangers. So I mean,
how about
if
that?
that happens to Ranger Suarez tomorrow, God forbid, you obviously you throw in a bullpen guy, get to the second, then you pitch Wheeler, right?
That's why I say survive the first.
Because the Houston Astros did not take your advice and they did not survive the first, and now they have an uphill battle.
Yeah,
I'm
after
sorry.
getting
What were you gonna-
smoked
what were
last
you gonna
night.
say?
Ranger Suarez is more of a feely, kind of touchy, right? Lefty, savvy, right? When you think of Ranger Suarez, I think of savvy. He knows how to pitch, right?
Yes.
Like those guys are, you'll know right away, and that's the hard part. Like some guys have a lot of starting pitchers have a hard time in the first. Like when we used to offensively, we'd be like, don't let him out. Don't let him out. Don't let him out. Like don't give up on a pitch because you think it's the first inning. Like bear down right now. Like give him your best out of the gate, which is hard to do in a regular season, but in the postseason you can lock it in. Like don't let him up. Like don't let him out. You see like Framber Valdez, another guy had a hard time with the first. Don't let him out.
Yep.
Don't let him out because how many times it's happened to my high school team? A billion times. We get guys on, don't get the guy in the first, and then we blink, and that guy's out there to the 5th. And it's like you guys let him out. You let him off the hook. You had one shot to really throw have the snowball huge, and you gave that bat away. And that's kind of like the same thing that these guys give bats away, like my high school team does. But that's the idea. Like when those guys, and they know who has, they have so much data. They know who struggles in the first. That's what makes the Rangers tough because they come out, and the same thing with the Phillies, right? You have trouble in the first, and the first guy that walks up could put the thing in the second deck, first pitch of the freaking game. Like that means something.
You know what? It's 3-0 now. They got out of the top of the first inning, but Javier's out of there and Maton is in. So now the Astros are going to have to go inning to inning with different pitchers. This could be a long night. The way
It's only 3-0
with Scherzer.
Yeah, but
Scherzer
it could be
wasn't great in his debut there in game.
Yeah, but
3,
he got through it though. He
wasn't horrible.
I guess my only point is it's 3-0, not 8-0.
I wouldn't expect him to be any better than what he was. Really,
no.
He was there. His slider was off. He hadn't pitched in a month.
But I would think he'd be a little bit better this time because he should have more command.
This is going to be one of those. This is going to be a Florida State football game. It's going to be a 5-hour game. This is going to be the old Red Sox Yankees Sunday night game. When you blink, it's 2:30 in the morning. You're still playing.
Oh, you mean it's going to be a 4.5-hour game?
All right. This one's going to get comfortable. Get your popcorn. We're going to be a while. But what I mean, this is the best part. It's Game 7. That's the one thing you go back to. Like, hey, stop looking at it so negatively for Philly. It's like, man, not many people get a chance to tell their kids or whoever, like, hey, do you remember Game 7 of whatever that means? Like, you're about to see history tomorrow night. Embrace it.
Mr. J, why is Bohm still batting after Harper? So, I mean, now everything's going to be under a microscope with Rob Thompson in this lineup. I've said my piece about Bohm batting fourth. I understand that you don't want to I have your quote written down right here, Doug. It's going to go up on our social media. You don't change the lineup. You change the lineup when you're losing, not when you're struggling. I mean, up 2-0. Now they've lost, what, 2 of 3? 3 of 4?
But again, it took
that losing or struggling?
The guy hit a pinch hit home run. I mean,
yeah, it's true.
You took a 2-run lead into the 8th. I mean, tomorrow night, would you take a 2-run lead in the 8th? You could write it down right now. Would you take a 2-run lead in the 8th?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So
every time.
Again, it's not like either team has blown a game. The team that's won has actually gone out and earned their wins. For the most part, right? I mean, homers and good pitching, bad pitching, you can say whatever you want. It's not like Kimbrel threw a ball to the backstop. Like, not in this series.
He has hit a few guys.
That's fine. Hey, there's nothing wrong with that. I'd rather him hit him than walk him. Sorry, that's the way I was brought up. But again, boom,
that's
back.
That's how everybody feels.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, you hit Carroll and Need tomorrow, so what? Hang with him. He can't steal. Sorry, it's not really like according to Hoyle like super nice, but I'm not trying to get on your Christmas card list. I'm trying to go to the World Series.
Well, Altuve just hit one off the wall and knocked a. He just broke a piece of the scoreboard, Altuve, with a double on the first pitch of the game.
Okay, you scored 5 runs, 10 runs, 1 run, 5, 6, 1. Not struggling.
No,
not struggling. Like all these people that want to move Bohm, where do they want to move him to?
I think it's easy. I think it's easy to make a switch because you can just swap. Like, he doesn't want to split up the righties at the back end with Marsh in between JT. So you just take one of those righties, whether it's JT or Nick, put him fourth and drop Bohm. Yeah. I think it's a change that can help you and it doesn't disrupt. Because you're big with the former manager. You're big on not disrupting the feng shui of what.
It's not like you've left a ton of guys on base.
They don't get anybody on base because all they hit is freaking solo homers.
It's about the lineup depth, right? Depth is what's key. Some guys are top heavy. The lineup's through and through. You have Nick Castellanos hitting 8th or 7th.
7th, yep.
That's depth. That's a
pretty damn good lineup.
You're just jabbing away. Like, okay, would you rather go through Thomas, Longoria, Rivera, or Realmuto, Castellanos, Marsh right now?
Oh, the Diamondbacks. I mean,
Longoria love Longo to death, hell of a career, but like tonight was his second hit of the series. I'm like,
yeah,
he just threw it into his bat plane. He might play a great, and I'm all for the veteran leadership. Trust me, if I was a manager, I would love to have him on this club. Don't get me wrong, but I'd much rather have your guy than their guy. Right?
I mean, the only guy on the Diamondbacks I can argue that would have a spot on this Phillies roster is probably Ketel Marte because he's been a pain in the ass and he's been a pest and he seems to get a hit every time he's up.
He's a great
Carroll hasn't done anything. Christian Walker, their cleanup hitter, hasn't done anything.
It's been awful. Bohm drove in 100. He drove in 100 runs.
Where's the line, Doug? Where's the line where what you did in May based on what you're doing now? Where's the line? So there's no situation where you would change the lineup?
Is it because Bohm's hitting cleanup and Rojas is playing center? Because Rojas hitting 9th, he's allowed to hit under 100? And don't give me the defense crap because
that's another situation.
Bohm. Do you want
my issue with Bohm hitting 4th is that Bryce Harper is not going to get the pitches he needs to do the damage that he needs to do.
Who you put behind Bryce Harper. It doesn't matter. You're not going to change the way he gets pitched. You're not.
No?
You can put Willie Mays behind Bryce Harper right now. They're not going to let Bryce Harper beat them.
Yeah, that's pretty much what's going on right now.
Getting pitches to hit the entire series because they've been pitching around Bryce Harper, and he hasn't been able to take advantage until tonight. He got 2 singles.
Right. Well, singles matter too. Singles matter. Just because he hasn't gone deep doesn't mean he's not like.
So he drove in 120 runs without really being like a 30, 40 home run guy.
Right. And those guys, they need to have guys on base to do that.
But he's not doing it right now. He stinks right now.
He's 2 for 4. He's the only guy that got 2 hits tonight, besides Marsh.
I mean, I fully expect the lineup to be the same. They're not going to change it just because I'm mad on A2D radio. Topper's not listening right now.
This is why fans buy tickets and managers manage games. Because you can't fly off the handle after every game and freak out and be like, oh my gosh, we got to move our lineup around. You know what? That just creates nothing but panic. Like Jalen Hurts threw a pick 6 last night. I looked on Facebook. People were like, he's terrible. Got to get him out of there. That's his 8th interception. The guy was in the Super Bowl last year. What's wrong with you people? You could have
6-1.
He's 6-1.
I mean, I didn't say bench him, but I don't like.
It was plenty out there.
I don't like all his turnovers at all.
You don't have to like it, but he's still your guy.
Oh, he's absolutely the starting quarterback of the Eagles.
No
argument here.
Where was the hate when Schwarber didn't do nothing against the Braves? No one said a word. He did nothing. No one said a word. No one said anything.
Because they handled it easily. They're not handling this.
Handling it easily. They handled it easily.
The Braves rolled over like dogs, Doug.
What's the
All
difference?
they had to do was lean on them. This team, because Arizona has heart.
You're worried about Arizona's heart? Shut up. Like, stop with the heart crap. It's not heart. They got, stop it. Like, heart doesn't, I hate that. It matters, but it doesn't. Like, you got beat tonight. Deal with it. It's not a big deal.
Agree.
The Braves, the Braves series, they didn't just roll over either.
Yeah, they did.
Did they roll over in game 2?
They won.
They were getting no hit.
That was the game they won.
Right. And it's a 5-game series versus 7. If this is a 5-game series, we're not having this conversation. It's already over. Like,
that's true.
That's my point. Like, a 7-game series, you see every wart you have as a club, and it gets exposed in a 7-game series. Wherever you're weak at, it shows up at some point. That's why every game 4 is 5 hours long, because no one has pitching after the first 2 guys. Usually the highest scoring game is game 4. Right?
That's correct.
It's just reality.
And game 7 game 7 that game 7
game 7 underthinking. Right. It's just,
I mean the Astros just came back and got a run, so it's 3-1.
I just don't understand, like, because it's now a 7-game, because, like, again, now they lost game 6 at home. Now we want to just change the lineup. I just don't get that. Like, you didn't want to change the lineup after you lost game 2 in Atlanta. And Schwarber did Schwarber even get a hit in Atlanta, the Atlanta series? I think he rolled over 1 ground ball. It's like, you don't say anything about Rojas. He can't. I mean, he fist pumped a can of shit to center tonight. He ran out of the box like, woo! And it was like it barely got to the track because he plays great defense. Bohm does too. Okay, you move Bohm down. You weaken your lineup. What makes your lineup dangerous? It's depth.
So you think JT Realmuto is more dangerous in the 6 hole than the 4 hole?
It creates depth. It creates depth.
I hear you. I understand. I understand.
What's the difference if the depth is Bohm at 6 or Realmuto at 6?
There's a lot that goes into this. Okay, how free swinging is either one of them? Who are you gonna? If you're gonna tell someone to take a pitch so Bryce can steal second, are you gonna tell Bohm, who's in his 2nd year in the big leagues, or are you gonna tell JT Realmuto who's gonna take? See, all this crap adds up. All these things go into a lineup. Like who's gonna get pitched to if Bryce steals second? Bohm or JT?
Bohm is going to get pitched to.
Right. And Bohm, you just got done answering your own question. He didn't hit 35 homers. He drives in runs. So if Bryce steals second, you have your best non-home run RBI guy hitting behind him.
Yeah, they're going to pitch to him.
And
they may not
pitch
pitch to J. They may not pitch to JT. Okay, I get that.
Okay.
I'm just telling you, you can't, but if I get it, it doesn't look like it should. I understand that. But at the same token, neither does Trey Turner in the 2-hole and Schwarber in the leadoff spot.
No.
It doesn't. I mean, if you want to get conventional, I think Game 7 of the NLCS is a little late to get conventional. And that's the thing is
definitely right about that.
They also talk about, and that's the new wave against the old wave. The old wave was your 3 holes your best hitter, your 4 holes your cleanup, your leadoff needs to be the high on base guy. Well, now in today's world, the 2 holes your best hitter, and the 4 holes a second leadoff hitter. Now,
because they figured the 3-hole.
We've had classes on this.
Yeah.
That's, in reality, Topper is kind of a mixture of both. I want my most athletic guy hitting third, right? The guy who can put a point on the board with or without you. And that's Bryce. Can he steal second? Yes. Can he hit it over the fence? Yes. Can he walk? Yes. Can he grind out a bat? Yes. He's your most multi-dimensional hitter.
He's the best. He's the best hitter right now. That's still playing in the National League for sure.
And it doesn't matter. You guys could bring Mike Schmidt back to hit the cleanup. They're still going to pitch around Bryce Harper and go after Mike Schmidt. It doesn't matter. There's no exhale in this lineup. There's no exhale.
So what you're telling me, as a former major league manager, is that doesn't matter who hits behind Bryce. Bryce is still going to get pitched around, and the 4-hole is still going to get pitches to hit.
Yeah.
So putting JT. So you're telling me putting JT Realmuto.
Do we know that JT likes the 4-hole? Do we know this? Or we just think this is fantasy baseball and we're all make-believe GMs and we can just stick somebody anywhere and it just works. This is what kills me, is that people start asking questions who, whether they're super fans or whether they're casual fans, they don't know the players like the guy running the team does. I don't know. I don't know if JT likes hitting fourth or not. He might not. He may do things a little differently. There's a lot that goes into this. And the thought process is, I'm just trying to guess, but that's what I would think. Like I said, I wouldn't change anything. Why would I? It's the only change I could make. And as I talked it out on this show, I was like, I don't like it because now I completely lost protection for JT and Nick if I put Marsh in the middle of them, because Marsh can still go up there and not swing and punch out, which we saw tonight. He does that more times than I care to like from a player. But that's, again, if you're going to complain about Bohm hitting fourth, how come no one's complaining about Rojas hitting 095?
Yeah, I don't know. You put Marsh back in center, put Pache, or is it too late to do that too?
It's too late to do that.
Why is it too late? I don't understand why it's too late.
Why? Because you think Rojas wouldn't be devastated if you took him out? You're playing the most important game in your team's year tonight. What do managers normally do? They tend to go to the defensive guy than the other guy. It's not like he left 19 guys on base in this series. And again, and this is the way I would think, and this is if I was a manager of this team and I had to answer questions about Rojas, I'd be like, if I have to worry about this kid's offense, the guys that we gave $300 million to aren't doing their job. We didn't make this team hoping that Rojas's offense was our final piece. Go play center field. Whatever you give us, you give us. Give us good at bats. Do the best you can. If you're leaning on Rojas's to go to the World Series, you're leaning on the wrong guy. And again, you didn't lose any games. You got beat. You can live with that. Like, it's not like you had your heart ripped out. Like, if this game was like Game 5 or Game 4, couple bad calls, pinch hit homer, go ahead single in the 8th, and you blink and the game's over. Those can linger a little bit, but I don't see that with this club, good or bad, right or wrong.
It is easier to turn the page when you get spanked. To just say, okay, bad day, let's go get him tomorrow.
They know it. They just didn't hit. Nola didn't have his best stuff, but like, you can't expect the Nola to go out and shut guys out. You hope, but reality, So would you feel better or worse if you all lost this game 2-1? Doesn't matter. Still lost.
No, I don't think it matters at all. I mean, the only thing that would, if they got stung on like a walk-off or something, I think that would probably be the only outcome that would worry me.
I just feel like Bohm and Stott are young guys, but they've been in this situation before and they don't freak out. Like, they're under control. They do things the way they've done them all year. They're under control. They're not striking out at an alarming clip. They're calm, right? They're not. They look just like they did last year. They look like they did all year this year. Look, pitching's better. You're not going to drive in a ton of runs in October. They're like, every pitch matters. It's not like he's getting crippled heater and crippled hanging sliders and he's missing them. Like, I'm more worried about, like, in a other world, like, I think, was it a couple games ago, Bryce chased a fastball up, and it hasn't quite been the same since. Like, he's missing pitches, which is probably a good thing for tomorrow if you're a Phillies fan.
It just makes him too.
Yeah, it's just like, and it's all coming off an off day where you're a little bit off. Like, when's the last time you saw a Game 7 that was actually close?
It's usually a letdown. You're right about that.
It's usually a 10-1 game where someone erupts and someone explodes. Look what happened. Okay, look, go back. Game 1 was close. Game 2 was an absolute blowout. This can steamroll bad for, like, let's put it this way. Which team would you feel better with if they fell behind 3-0 in the first? Would you feel better if you had the Diamondbacks or if you had the Phillies?
Phillies for sure.
Okay. Which team would you feel better if you jumped out to a 3-0 lead in the first? Phillies or the Diamondbacks?
Well, if the Diamondbacks fall down 3-0, they're going to get slaughtered.
It's over. They're going to get slaughtered. They're going to get.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be crowd's going to be.
Yeah, they'll get slaughtered.
It doesn't matter how it got to this. It just matters for one game. Just matter for one game.
But that's the beauty of it. Anything can happen in one game,
without question. But I'm riding with the guys.
I listen. If you put a gun to my head, okay. If you pick the right team, you live, and if you pick the wrong team, you die. I think I go. I think I died. I died picking the Phillies.
Oh yeah, without question.
Yeah, I mean,
it's not a disrespect to the Diamondbacks. I mean, it's not.
No, but the Phillies just have a better. They have a better roster.
They're just better.
Yeah,
and like I said, it didn't take.
They have a better roster.
You guys didn't win on a pinch hit homer from Matt Stairs. It's like it's just. I feel good about. Like I said, I don't. This game doesn't change how I feel about the entire series. It's gone one more game than I thought it would go. I thought it'd be over within 6. It should have been over within 5.
No, they had their miracle in game.
No, I mean, again, it goes back.
It happens.
If Kimbrel's first hitter in Game 4 doesn't get squeezed, this shit's over. They win in 5. They don't even come back to Game 6.
Trying to see who the umps are going to be tomorrow.
Whoever was at first tonight has home plate tomorrow.
Game 6 umpires.
Holy moly, they're already into the third arm.
Houston? Yeah, of course they are. When your pitcher only throws 2/3 of an inning, your starting pitcher, that's not exactly you're not exactly in a good spot.
I just don't see how anybody even remotely throws a ball close to Yordan Alvarez right now.
Well, did you see what they did last night, Texas?
I would have done the same thing.
2 outs and a runner on first base.
Go.
And they walk Yordan. And Evaldi didn't even argue about it.
Go.
Yeah.
Go.
So Andy Fletcher.
Because Tucker isn't doing anything.
Abreu's raking now, but
yeah.
I'm sorry. A 3-hole hitter. That's where I think the game has changed a little bit. A 3-hole hitter should not hit 436 in a series. They shouldn't. Like, you go into the game saying we're not going to let Yordan Alvarez beat us, and he single-handedly kept the Astros in the
Absolutely. Well, he was at the time that they walked him, they were saying that he was 10 for his last 14.
That's what I'm talking about. Like, I go back to David Ortiz and the Cardinals. I think it was 2013. I'm like, are y'all? And that's the Cardinals' way. They're so stubborn that they're so hard-headed. They feel that their pitching is so extraordinary that they can. Like, it's like at some point make someone else beat you. Like, that's what goes back to lineup depth. Pick your poison, right? When the Phillies had, Schwarber going deep, Trey Turner going deep, Bryce going deep, Nick unconscious. It's like, my goodness gracious, like every other hitter, it's like ends up over the fence. Yeah, Altuve's had his games, but like Yordan Alvarez is just wearing you out, lefty or righty.
Yeah, and they intentionally walked him with a runner on first and 2 outs.
Look at Bochy last night. Bochy didn't bring a lefty in to face him. Like,
it doesn't matter.
He's 6 for his last 10.
Like, it doesn't matter who's pitching right now.
Pull that off.
Yeah, it doesn't matter who's pitching, and Abreu's hit well behind him.
I don't care. I don't care if he's hitting with the bases loaded, unless it's a tie game in the bottom of the 9th. I am not letting him swing the bat. Period. The only guy I'd give freedom to would probably be Evaldi.
Yeah, and if Evaldi is saying, okay, if you think so.
Maybe Montgomery early in the game, first 2 innings, maybe. First inning, unless there's first and second or second and third.
Well, if the second and third, you're not pitching to him.
Hell no. First and second, first inning, I might. But after that, he's proven that he's not. Where are the other guys? Like, if I lose, I'm losing to someone else besides the obvious, and that's where it goes back to pitching.
He's getting the Barry Bonds treatment right now.
Oh, that's what goes back to pitching. When's the last time? Like, think back to 10, 15 years ago. Very rarely did one guy, like David did it, but that's why David's in the Hall of Fame. But like, that's what made the Yankees so good. Like, who are you going to pick? Which one do you pick? Do you pick Jeter? Do you pick Posada? Do you pick Bernie? Do you pick Paul O'Neill? It's like, which one? Like, pick your poison. You're doomed from the start because it's just Tino. The list is so long. That's where the Phillies come in. Like, and the Astros have a deep lineup too, but they're not hitting right now. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if Kyle Tucker has a huge hit in this game because he's too good a player to be down this long.
He's been terrible.
But you got to keep putting it on his plate. Like last night, he took a changeup, he check swung, and then he check swung a ground ball to first. If that's not the epitome of I don't know what I'm doing right now, like that's it. Like I'm sorry, baseball is not a sport for the faint of heart. Like you have to, when there's a weakness shown, you exploit it over and over and over. You don't feel sorry for anybody and bury people. I would go after him. There's no way I'd let Yordan I wouldn't even let him swing the bat tonight. I'd probably walk him 4 times if I could.
Well, he got the he got the double to knock in. I mean, they pitched to him the first time. Scherzer pitched to him, and he got a double down the left field line.
Who?
And the guy can actually hit the ball the other way too. No, that was Longoria. I'm sorry, Longoria got the double, and then they walked Alvarez, and then Abreu hit into a double play.
What are you talking about? Abreu tonight?
This inning, the first inning tonight.
Abreu
in
hit
the Phillies in the Phillies game.
Oh,
No, I'm talking
That's
about
talking about
the
the Phillies game.
no, I'm talking about the Astros game tonight.
That was their fourth. I think that was their third run off Nola. Was a Longoria smoked a double in the left center field grab.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Yes. So I'm sorry.
Doug, Andy Fletcher is going to have the plate tomorrow in Game 7 of the NLCS. Thoughts, comments, concerns?
I'd be
Good
concerned.
luck. You'd be concerned.
He's all right. He's an older guy. He was there when I was there. He was
pitchers umpire, hitters umpire,
Mr. Personality.
inconsistent.
Doesn't
have a personality.
Doug didn't
Zero.
like him.
Like Aaron Grant, he was a younger guy when I was there. Just always kind of like, I don't know. I'm sure he's much different now because he's established. But he was always like awkward. How's that? Awkward.
Right.
Awkward is the best way to put it.
Okay.
I mean, you can't be the days of pitchers and hitters, umpires, like they say it, but they really can't with the box, right? I mean, they can't really be one way or the other. You know, for the most part, like outside of a couple pitches here and there, I just felt like I had to bring it up when I was watching that game. And like I keep going back to it, but Kimbrel definitely got squeezed, and it changed the outcome of the game. And you know, it's almost like he has to throw strike one legitimately right down the freaking middle of the plate for them to call it. But if he gets one strike call on your at bat, it changes everything. He goes from, oh boy, he's not going to throw a strike for the next three hitters to, if he throws a strike to a hitter, it's like this guy has absolutely zero shot. I mean, I think I speak for almost every Philly fan in that regard. Like, your heart's in your chest, beating out of your shirt when he comes in the game.
I would think it would be.
Yeah, I mean, definitely.
It was the only move I thought they could have made and help them get another guy in the pen.
All right, so Brad, sounds like we all like the Phillies tomorrow.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
Close game, blowout game.
I'll be shocked.
I say 4-1 Phillies.
I'll be shocked if Arizona. I'll be shocked if Arizona wins this game.
I would be too.
Because
I think you give Arizona an A for effort and hang it in there with them for 7 games. But in the end, I just don't see Arizona winning.
I just think the boys are going to come out hacking. They're coming out banging tomorrow. They're such professional hitters. The Phillies hitters. And what I love about it is like you make one mistake and they clobber it and they don't miss it. And then it's like shark and they smell blood. Here they come. It's like as soon as you make one bad pitch, and then you look and you're like, oh gosh, here they come.
Well, the thing with them is, Doug, it seems to me like every time when one guy hits a home run, 2 batters later, another home run gets.
And that's what length of a lineup will wear on you.
Yeah, and then the next inning, somebody else is going to hit a home run, and it just seems like it with the Phillies when they're on their game, it goes on and on and on and on. And I'll tell you what, I don't have faith in a rookie pitcher in that environment going in there and beating that team.
It's October baseball. You throw it where you don't miss your spots, you're going to be successful. If you make a mistake, it's going to get punished. And to tip your cap to the guy tonight, he didn't make a lot of mistakes. He didn't make a ton of mistakes. And that's why the ball stayed in the yard for the most part. You know, so but if you make one mistake, it's going to get pummeled.
Bill Middlebrook, he'll be a Philadelphia umpire. MLB definitely doesn't want Arizona in the World Series. I believe Philadelphia is the 4th or 5th biggest market as far as ratings in the MLB, all about the money. Any truth to that, Doug?
I agree with that 1,000%.
Merritt, you think
I agree
MLB,
with that.
if it's close, makes a call to Mr. Fletcher?
Mm-hmm. Yep, I agree with
that. I like that we're on the right side of the fix then.
And I think this Houston Texas game, somehow I think Houston ends up winning this game.
Oh, they can't. Texas can't just stop scoring. That's what makes it hard. Like bullpen days are hard offensively because you never see the guy twice. it's change of arm angle, different spin, different whatever. It's hard to it's hard to manufacture runs against those guys. That's why the craze went to it. You can give up a 3-run homer if things don't work out, but you give up a bomb. But like for the most part, it's hard. It's hard to kind of.
Garcia just hit another bomb, so now it's 4-1, or is it 5-1? 4-1. I'm sorry.
4-1.
Yes.
I don't know what Seager did in the first. I don't know how I didn't catch how Texas got their first 3.
He hit a homer.
He hit a 2-run home run.
Seager hit a homer. Seager hit a solo shot.
Oh, Seager hit a solo. Okay.
Even down 3, I'm not counting out this Houston team. I'm not counting them out at all.
Let's put it this way: I will feel much better when Max Scherzer's 4 innings are done, and they still have a 3-run lead.
Yeah, I wouldn't count on that happening though.
No, people forget, like, again, you go back to what does this Texas team do if they have DeGrom?
Oh God.
Exactly. Or go one back to Philly and think look what happens to this club when you throw Rhys Hoskins in here in this lineup. That's scary.
Yeah, then Harper was healthy, he'd be in center field, right?
He'd be in left. Put Marsh in center.
You don't need Rojas then.
Yeah, I mean
then it's a really deep
then it's a sick lineup.
And then no matter where you put them, you can pull it out of a hat, throw them in the. I mean, that's just 9 guys who will wear you out offensively. So
yeah, that's 9 stressful. That's 9 stressful.
That's 9 guys. If you catch too much of the white, it's a point. For the most part,
I'll tell you though, this Texas team can really hit.
Stott hasn't done much since the wild card games.
No, he had a grand slam in the wild card round, and yes, you're absolutely right. He's been pretty silent.
Doug, is Texas more like that too?
Texas they just come out. I love how they just attack.
They've been good offensively all season.
They just keep Simeon, he's growing on me. He just plays every single inning of every single game, and he just there's something to be said about that leadoff guy who attacks strikes. Simeon's he's not Schwarber, but at the same token, when the ball's in the hitting zone, Schwarber attacks it, right? There's fear. Simeon, that ball's on the white part of the plate. He puts a good swing on it, and that just resonates. That whole lineup they're ready to go from the word jump. And if you I forgot with Framber, the game 2 was he gave up 5 runs on 10 pitches. That's you haven't even broken a sweat yet, and you're down 5. That's awesome.
But you look at the third hitter, Evan Carter, is a good.
They call him 3-2. He's the only one that takes pitches.
Yeah, Garcia right now can't miss. Then you have Jonah Heim, who is an exceptional hitter and catcher.
Don't sleep on Garver. I had Garver in the minor leagues on the way up, and he can flat out hit.
He's DH tonight.
Yeah, he's DH. He's DH mostly.
Yeah, how many backup catchers are a DH?
He can flat out hit. He can mash. And
yes, he can.
He was a Silver Slugger a couple years ago in Minnesota. He had 30 home runs.
Yeah, and he's batting, I think, 8th or 9th in this lineup.
He's at 6th tonight. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Oh, he's batting 5th?
Yeah. Low, Jung. Your 8-hole. How's that for an 8-hole? As a rookie.
What, Jung? Jung just got some serious pop. Serious pop.
And the only one
Nathaniel Lowe, what does he hit? 9th or 8th or 7th?
He hit 7th.
Okay.
He was in the Rays system on the way up.
He's
for 3 years.
He's a good hitter too.
He's come a long way.
Yeah, he has.
A long way. And then Tavares, he just pops everything up. Legitimately pops everything up.
That's your 9-hitter, right?
Legit pops. That's the guy that goes deep and you're like, please don't do that again. Because now you're going to hit 19 pop-ups in a row straight up.
Gotcha,
love the homer, love it, but stay in your lane. Go back to who you are. Hit on the ground, sir. Hit on line. Stay flat. Get you on. and then let the big boys drive you in. Like, stop popping up. You're killing them.
In the American League, I mean, for the most part, Texas probably had the best offense in the league this year.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they did. They were a machine scoring runs. I mean, they had like about a 3 or 4 week period where they had a big lead on Houston, and then they got into a slump. And they lost a bunch of games.
Look at their postseason, like Simeon. Like, don't forget, like, they've lined out a ton in this series too. Like, even the game that they lost where Altuve hit the 3-run homer, like Simeon almost cleared him on a first and second nobody out line drive that Pena made a hell of a play on jumping. It's like Simeon's hitting 184, but he should be hitting 300 in this series because he's had great at bats. But like 184, 333, 306, 306, 303, 239, 217, 293, 270. Those are postseason numbers. Like, that's not normal. Like, that's not against that pitching staff.
No, they're hit. Look what they did to Baltimore.
Oh, Baltimore! Don't get me started on the AL East.
I know,
but I told you they stink. I told you they were. It was a bunch of mediocre crap.
Yeah, but the fact that they mauled them like that, they mauled them.
Crap. Just because 5 teams stink, someone had to win it. Like, think about it. When's the last time one division has had every team in there's had a losing a long postseason losing streak?
Oh, lost all their
Every one of them's got a long streak, like the Twins, who finally broke it. They don't even have, like, the Twins was series and games in a row. All these guys are games in a row.
Actually, I kind of like it because they lost. They won as many postseason games as the Yankees. So
correct.
All their fans that are ragging on the Yankees, they can shut the hell up now.
Well, you didn't like ball. You weren't buying Baltimore, really.
No,
Doug.
you didn't buy them at all
season, and you didn't buy Tampa. We know you don't like Tampa.
I just don't think that I don't. It's not that I don't like Tampa. Yes, I don't like Tampa, and I don't have anything negative against Baltimore. They're not like. Tampa's not built to win in October. They're not. It's just they're going to have to, like, they're better built probably to win a long series than a short series. And they're just never – it's hard to get out of the short ones against them because they don't swing the bat. It doesn't matter what kind of arms they have. And they don't have a lineup that can continually do it. Like, it took Randy Arozarena being unconscious for them to go deep into the postseason, right? Like,
yes,
no one knew who he was. He was unreal for 2 years. I just don't trust. I don't trust the style they do. And again, and I'm not taking shots at the AL East. I'm just thinking, like, yes, you're right. Everybody finished 500. That could be one of two things. They're all real competitive, or they're all really average altogether. And I didn't see. I thought it was a real.
They all won. They all won. I think they all won 90.
They were all below average squads. And
all three of them. Baltimore won 100.
Yeah, because they played against the AL East.
They won 99. They played
against 4 other crappy teams.
Tampa Bay won 99, and Toronto won 92.
4 other crappy teams. Like, there wasn't a good team in the East. You can win games if your division stinks.
But that's a lot of wins, though. And still, the other.
Yeah, but you got to think Tampa was what? They won the first 15 games.
Yeah, they were 13-0.
So,
and they were mediocre. They were decent the second half. After that, they were pretty good, but not great.
There's 3 teams in the West that would have won the East by at least 10 games.
Well, definitely 2. I don't know about Seattle, but because Seattle doesn't
the playoffs by 1 game.
Yeah, but Seattle can't hit.
Neither can any of the other teams in the AL East. Against a decent pitcher, they can't.
Well, that was proven. That was proven.
Hit. What offense scares you in the AL East?
Now?
None of them.
Really.
None of them. They're all easily pitched to.
At this point, yeah. Toronto didn't hit at all. You're right about that.
If you're going against October quality arms, the AL East lineup have holes everywhere. Yeah, if you make a mistake to those guys, they're going to kill you. But a couple of them, but like.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that they missed Franco a little bit? 'Cause I think that Tampa Bay definitely missed him.
Yeah, but it's like
They've had a couple months to adjust to that.
Yeah, the guy's never come. That kid will never play baseball again.
Yeah, probably won't
ever. A kid might not ever be free again.
That's true.
But no, like it's just depth of a lineup going back is where it's at, and that's why I trust Philly. And that's why I trusted Texas. Their lineup's deep.
Oh yeah, their lineup is nasty.
And if it gets to the Phillies and Rangers, there are going to be a lot of long games.
Yeah, I think
a lot
you're
of
right.
long games. If you
I don't think either one of those teams' pitching staffs will stop the other team from scoring runs. To be in all fairness, I mean, you look at Texas's offense.
You still have the best pitcher. Philly has the best pitcher left in the postseason, in my eyes, right now. Wheeler.
Do they?
Wheeler.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh, is that even? I mean, he's been lights out.
To me, there's not even a close second to that. Montgomery, I think, is a close second. He's pitched his rear end off.
Yeah, Eovaldi's been pretty darn good. Eovaldi's been
Whatever
really
it is,
good.
whatever it is with Montgomery and that pitching coach Mike Maddox. I mean, he taps into him and he gets the best out of him.
I thought Montgomery would have been a good pickup for Philly. Remember we talked about that?
Yeah, we did talk about that.
That would be.
I'm sure they tried to get him. They probably wanted. I'm sure they probably wanted too much.
I would have felt better going back to that if they would have pulled one like that or somebody's reliever, one more reliever. I didn't think Lorenz. I don't trust anybody from Detroit.
I mean, he threw a no hitter and he pitched tonight. I think he had a clean inning tonight.
Yeah,
he pitched 1 2/3 innings. He got 5 outs, right?
Which
Lorenzen,
which is good.
Yeah, no, he did his job.
But see, like to me, he's got more reliever stuff than starter stuff. Right? Like,
right.
Yeah.
Tawan Walker's more of like your long guy, right? Because you sinker can strike a guy out, but put the ball in play, give you innings, a little depth, a little length, right?
They are hanging around these Astros. Bregman just went yachts.
Yep. So now it's 4-2. Yeah. Don't count out the Astros. Texas is going to.
I was down at the stadium game 2. The Phillies won 10-0. And everyone said, "Oh, I guess it's going to be the Rangers and the Phillies." Like, I hope it's the Phillies. They're up 2-0, and they were up 10-0, so it was all, rainbows and ice cream down there at Citizens Bank. But I said, though, let's not count out these Astros.
No, you can't.
I mean, there's Max Scherzer. He can't hear out of the thing. He's got 2 different color eyes. That was a great. I mean, I know he got hurt, but that was a great pickup by
Texas
the Rangers.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, get Max Scherzer, get him out of New York. He was probably miserable there.
Well, when the team was playing that badly, I
wanted Texas to get Verlander. I thought after DeGrom went down, I would think he probably had to give up the same thing, right?
Yeah, I'm sure.
It's pretty crazy, though. I think that both those guys were on the same team and they couldn't get out of their own way.
Well, they were also hurt.
It's age, man. They're getting up there.
Yeah, no, I know. I mean, at this point in their career,
I faced Scherzer. I faced Verlander. That's how long they've been doing it. I feel like I haven't played in 30 years.
How did you do against them?
I did pretty well against Scherzer. I saw the ball really well.
You could hit fastballs. I know that.
I saw the ball really well off him. And I remember my first at bat back from major shoulder surgery. I dislocated, separated, tore my labrum off. They told me I would never play again. I came back. They told me I wouldn't play till November. I played in July. And my first big league at bat coming back was off him. And I should have hit it out, and I hit a single. And I remember, I still have the picture of my house. And I remember it was like like it was yesterday, like a lot of long nights and a lot of long rehab moments to get back for that one. But yeah, so it's funny how things like that stick out in your mind. But that was Verlander was nasty. Verlander, this young kid was ridiculous. It was probably stuff wise was outside of Matt Carpenter when he was with the Blue Jays way back when. Like Verlander's stuff was by pretty. I mean, like as far as electric is a good word for it. Like it was amazing. It was like I'm still amazed when guys barrel them up, even at 40 years old. I'm just like, man, it's.
Oh, he still has a great curveball too.
And it just when he was 21, 22 years old, it was ridiculous. It was.
Yeah, he pitched. Didn't he have 2 no-hitters?
He threw. I know. We faced him in 2006, his rookie year. I was in the Royals, and holy moly, I remember like. Someone from the media asked me from Detroit, was like, well, what'd you think? And I was like, what pick was he? Like, he was like the 7th pick. And I'm like, well, there should be 6 GMs that get fired today if they passed on this guy. Like, y'all are nuts. Like, this guy's going to be nasty for another 10 years. And it's now going on 20. But be curious to see what – does he come back in?
Did you see Alvarez just now?
Triple.
I mean,
triple for the big guy.
I mean, Doug, they may have been better off walking him just now with a run with nobody on and 1 out.
I just don't understand why you keep like pitch him like it's 0-2.
Yeah, I mean, Evan Carter kind of misjudged that ball, but my God, that guy.
He's a rookie. Carter, he's the rookie out of UNC, right?
Yeah,
he's in left. He misplayed a ball in left.
Yep.
Left center or left?
Left center.
Drafted as a catcher, I think, right?
Yeah, well, he's in left center tonight. He's in left field tonight.
So you can't. See, just walk him. Just walk him. Boo me all you want. You can boo me. You can boo me my ass when I'm on Fox on World Series Game 1.
Yeah. Now Scherzer's got Abreu swinging at everything.
I wouldn't. There's no possible way I'm throwing that guy. He's hitting 450.
Probably a little higher now after that triple.
Slugging 1,000. Like, I don't get it. I just don't get it. Like, I wouldn't pitch him if it was a regular season game. It's only Game 7. Like, what are you doing? All right.
Well, they just got Abreu out, so he's still on third base. But it would have been a double play. And here comes Bochy. I think that's going to be it for Scherzer.
Going to be it for Scherzer.
Yeah, 4 hits, 2 walks. He's got traffic everywhere. 45 pitches.
He's out of there.
Got back-to-back lefties.
All right, let me tell you about it.
What, Carter could have had that ball.
Yeah, he misplayed it because he's a rookie. And I believe he was drafted as a catcher out of UNC, if I'm not.
Well, I want to go on air and say congratulations to the Eagles for destroying my Fins last night.
Your congratulations to the Eagles, Doug, is brought to you by Hats.com. There's the promo code Philly for 15% off your order. In 2018, Eagles legend Brian Dawkins was inducted in the Pro Football Hall of Fame. To commemorate this moment, B-Dawk designed and launched an exclusive collaboration with Bowman Hat Company, America's oldest hat maker, on Hats.com. Brian's love for hats and the Eagles were on full display in Canton, and now you can find yourself in that iconic Hall of Fame fedora. Just go to Hats.com, search for Brian Dawkins. There's your promo code for 15% off. But, Eagles get it done last night against Doug's Miami Dolphins. Are the Dolphins ever going to be a good team? Because I don't think the Eagles are playing all that great, even though they're 5-1, 6-1.
We just got to get healthier.
The secondary is your.
Is it playing on the road that's the problem? Because they played Buffalo, they got clobbered. Hopefully when Xavier Howard and Jalen Ramsey are healthy, I think that pass rush, the way they played last night, if they can maintain that when we need that, we'll be all right. We'll be fine. Because I said Jalen kind of hurt us. He avoided the rush, and then our third string secondary just
couldn't hang on to those receivers that long. So, you know what? I expected it to be way worse from the way this first started. We had backup center, third string tackle, third string guard, and we were getting destroyed up front. So they kept playing. So I knew what the outcome was going to be. I thought it would be worse.
They did come back and tie it.
I just don't. Again, I'm not on this hype train that wow, we put up numbers. Like, don't forget people. Like, I feel like people that are my age, like we grew up with Dan Marino. He put up nothing but numbers, and we never beat a good team back then either. Like, as much as I love the Dolphins, like until they start beating someone with substance, I don't care. Like, I don't care about numbers. I don't care. Like, our next test is Kansas City in London, of all places.
No,
Germany,
Frankfurt.
actually.
Frankfurt, whatever the hell. Same.
Which is stupid.
Retarded.
I don't understand why a marquee game like that is in Germany.
Stupid.
So I guess you guys get robbed of a home game, or do the Chiefs get robbed of the home game?
I have no idea.
No idea.
I haven't looked at that far, but I know we better pay attention to. We got the Patriots this week.
Wow, look who's out there for Texas now.
Who's that? Jordan Montgomery. Wow, all hands on deck for Bruce Bochy.
He went.
That's
their best
Bochy
pitcher.
is not fooling around.
He went to
He
him.
wants to go to the World Series. The only thing I'll say about the Eagles is, kind of the rallying cry around this team, the whole season has been, they're not playing great, but they're 5-1. They're 6-1. Okay, that's cute in week 3, but we're going into week 8 now. You play the Commanders, who absolutely stink. You squeaked by them in overtime at home a few weeks ago. I need to see a game where offense, defense, special teams all clicks. Because
they scored 7 points against the Giants. Do you does that not tell you?
I need to see it, Brad. I
know?
do. Brad, look at the 3 teams in my lifetime that have gone to the Super Bowl for the Philadelphia Eagles. I knew by now that they were going to the Super Bowl. Like, I've seen what they could do. I've seen what they're capable of. 2004 with T.O., they took the league by storm. I knew by week 8 that they were going to the Super Bowl. 2017 with Carson, it got a little cloudy when Carson blew his knee, but I knew that team had the goods to go to the Super Bowl. I knew they were going. Last year, they blew every team on the schedule out. I knew by this time that they were going to the Super Bowl. Maybe that's the fan in me, and maybe that's not fair. Maybe I'm biased with those three statements, but I knew by now that those 3 teams were going to the Super Bowl. I don't know that this team is going to the Super Bowl this year. I don't. Wow. I haven't seen a complete performance yet.
What team have you seen that
I just named 3 in Eagles history.
I know, but I'm talking about what aren't they doing? There's no style points in the NFL. They destroyed.
Yes, I want to see style points. I want to feel better about it.
Best offense in football last night. They made them. That was the most the Dolphins are 1st and 20. It's like we're getting a first down in 2 downs. You held Tyreek Hill to 88 yards. He's on pace for 2,000. That's not normal. I don't understand what else you need to see. You have the best defensive line in football. I don't care. Cowboys.
But style points are why your Dolphins are getting the love that they're getting through 7 games, 8 games. The Giants, Panthers, Denver, they're only here because of style points. They're only in the conversation as one of the league's best because of style points, Doug.
You're not offensively built like the Dolphins are, thank God. You're built to win the Super Bowl. You run the ball. We had 8 possessions last night. 8. Think about that. 8. We only had the ball 8 times. You think that happens on a pass-friendly offense?
No, and I have no qualms about the Philadelphia Eagles defense. The Philadelphia Eagles defense is championship.
You can keep the ball away from anybody. I'm sorry. Trust me. I wish Jalen Hurts would play at times. I think he could play better. But what team are you going to face that can put points on you?
We're going to find out in 2 weeks. They're going to play Dallas at home for first place.
Come on,
say what you want about Dallas. They have talent. They do have talent, and they always grab the Eagles once. Then after that, they got Kansas City. So you're going to find out soon.
Okay. It's October.
Yeah,
It's
but now
early.
it's going to be
It's
November.
early
Now it's
in
going to
the
be
NFL.
What do you
November. Then
think's
it's
going to
going to be
happen to our
December.
prolific offense?
I just want one game, Doug, where they put it all together.
You want them
and
to
look
beat
like
Denver by 70? Is that what you want? Like, I don't understand. I'd rather have them go up against a good team and punch them in the mouth like they did last night and run all over them. Their defensive line, that looked like I was watching FSU against, like, Austin P, the offensive line last night. They were manhandling other NFL, like, starters. Jalen Carter's an animal. Like, and then the other dude from Georgia who missed part of the training camp, don't sleep on him. Like, he's not even he came in, got a sack, and came off the field. Wait till he gets healthy, and it's scary. Like, sometimes you have to understand. Like, I get it. When you watch your own team, you see every wart, you see every hole. But when you watch it from a hole, you're like, from somebody else, I'm like, damn. Like, I was complaining last night to my Dolphins fans going, how do they get Jalen Carter 9? They got the best player in the draft that year at 9 after going to the Super Bowl. Like, great, smart draft picks, I guess, trades, all that stuff. I'm like, but still, it's like.
Somehow he fell to 9.
It's like crazy. I'm like, that's all they need is that guy. Now you add, then they get Nolan Smith. That's his name, right? The other linebacker from Georgia you got late in the first round.
He done anything.
It's like
he got a sack last night.
Like outside, the only person I can't watch on your team is your head coach. It's like, dude, go home and get some sleep. Like, stop. You're not a player. Like, go home, catch up on some rest. You look like you're on a 10-day bender. You haven't slept. All you do is drink and you sleep outside the stadium. Like, can we get the man a couch and a bed so we can get some rest? He just looks like he's beat up. Am I wrong?
No,
it looks
yeah,
like,
you're right. Looks like his main sponsor is Adderall.
Like, what's keeping him awake? Like, he always looks
Adderall.
confused. He just walks up on the sidelines like, who just called it? No.
I totally agree with you, but I mean, he has the pulse of the players.
My head coach is little Einstein, so like it's like I have miniature little Einstein walking up down the sideline for me.
Yeah, I think McLeod's done a pretty good job with that team, though.
They both have done a great job. They both, but I mean, like, again, but how can you screw up that defense? You can't. It'd be
pretty hard. It'd be pretty hard. They've got a great line. They also have a great offensive line, Doug.
Right, no doubt. Like, you think about it, if you can have anything.
That's why they're able. That's why they're able to run the ball, and that's why nobody else gets the ball.
You guys.
That's why you only get 8 possessions.
In the rain, in the snow, in a swamp. It doesn't matter. It can be 20 below
they can
0.
play in the damn desert if they have to.
Your team can play and travel in January. The Dolphins, let's say we go 12-5, and we have to go play the AFC.
If you don't have home field throughout, you're dead.
Right. We have to go play the AFC Championship game in Kansas City or in Buffalo. Wind's blowing 30 miles an hour. It's cold. Tua can't throw a ball from here to the window when it's blowing 35 miles an hour.
Not too many guys can, actually. Even Josh Allen can't do that. He proved that last year.
But it's like, I'd rather have you guys blowing guys off the ball with no sleeves on, like a bunch of psychos up there just blowing people away. Like, they earned my respect last night. I was like, damn, I'm gonna watch this because these guys look like they came and like curb stomped us, which I was all for because I think we needed it because we think we're better than we are. At least the Miami fans do.
And what you got? The Chiefs in.
We have
Germany next week.
New England next week, and then we go to New England. Then we play the Chiefs. Like I said, I've been that Dolphin fan, dude. How many times in my life I've been 4-1, 5-1, feeling good in September?
So that's interesting. So the Eagles are going to be catching the Chiefs in Kansas City coming back from Germany.
Yeah, but then
I kind of like that.
Yeah, but
does that even matter anymore with the way you guys travel?
No, because Taylor Swift will rent 2 big planes and they'll all have a good time and they'll all be a hyperbaric chamber on her plane and whatever. So they're fine.
All right. That'll do it for this edition of the Sports Hounds. Game 7 tomorrow. Keep it locked here on A2D Radio. Go Phils. Hopefully we'll be talking World Series. For Doug Minkiewicz, Brad Ryer, I'm Rob Brinkman. Till next Monday. Peace out, everybody.